From career ambitions to the state I called home, I've made some big changes. Changes that felt like a midlife crisis at first, but turned out to be the best decisions of my life. In this video, I'm sharing the 7 things I've let go of to embrace slow living in 2025, and how those choices have completely transformed my happiness. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why am I doing all of this? Why am I constantly rushing, buying, and chasing after things that never seem to bring lasting happiness? I asked myself that question a few years ago, and the answers changed my life. I realized that I was spending my precious time I'll never get back, on things that didn't truly matter to me, things that didn't make me happy, didn't bring me peace, and certainly didn't align with the life I wanted to live. So I decided to slow down. But slowing down wasn't just about doing less. It was about doing differently. It was about pausing, reflecting, and letting go of habits, routines, and things that weren't serving me. What I've learned along the way has transformed not just my life, but how I see the world. And today, I want to share that with you. Life lesson number 1. Sometimes it's not about doing more, it's about doing less, but with intention. When I decided to slow down my life, I knew it meant making changes, some small, some big. I started by asking myself, what do I truly want? What do I need? And what's standing in the way of those things? What I discovered was eye-opening. I had so many habits and routines that weren't adding anything meaningful to my life. They were distractions, pulling me away from the kind of calm, intentional life I craved. Letting go of those things wasn't always easy, but the rewards were immeasurable. Better sleep, more meaningful free time, and a sense of peace I hadn't felt since early childhood. Life lesson number 2. What you choose to give your attention to shapes your life more than you realize. One of the first things I let go of was TV. I haven't owned one now for about 10 years, and honestly, I don't miss it. People often ask me if I've seen the latest movie or show, and 99% of the time my answer is no. It's not that I don't enjoy a good movie, I do. But I've found that watching TV doesn't align with the life I want to live. When I'm done with my day, I want my mind to relax naturally, to process the day and unwind. But when I used to watch TV, I'd lose hours to the screen. My brain never truly relaxed. It just shifted from one type of stimulation to another, and I'd go to bed feeling wired, not rested. Instead, I spend my evenings doing things that bring me peace. Cooking a meal from scratch, reading a book, or a creative pursuit like sewing or painting. These activities fill my life with joy and intention in a way that TV never could. Life lesson number 3. Contentment isn't found in getting more. It's found in loving what you already have. Another shift I made was learning to work with what I already have. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need more. New furniture, new clothes, new gadgets. But do we really? When I made the big move across the country, leaving behind the familiar for a simpler life, I made a conscious decision to bring only what I truly needed. I focused on what I already had, choosing a few well-loved, versatile pieces and finding ways to make them work, even if they weren't a perfect fit. And you know what? I've grown to love this approach. There is something incredibly fulfilling about working with what you already own, getting creative, and caring for those items deeply. It's a reminder that life doesn't have to be filled with endless upgrades or perfect matches. Simplicity is about valuing the good things that you already have and finding joy in making them serve you in meaningful ways. Life lesson 4. True connection is felt, not typed. It thrives in the energy of shared moments and in the spaces where we're fully present with one another. Somewhere along the way, we've lost the magic of meeting in person, the energy of being near others, sharing stories, and exchanging ideas has been replaced by endless digital interactions. But nothing compares to the real, tangible connections we create when we're fully present with one another. One of the most meaningful changes I've made in this area of my life was starting a book club in my town. Meeting face to face with people who share my love for stories and ideas has been a joy unlike any other. There's something powerful about sitting together, exchanging perspectives, and feeling the warmth of connection that can't be replicated through a screen. These meetups remind me of the importance of real human energy, the kind you can feel in a room filled with laughter or in a heartfelt conversation. It's not just about the books we discuss, it's about the relationships we build, the stories we share, and the memories we create together. By prioritizing in-person gatherings, I've rediscovered the richness of community and the beauty of connection. It's a reminder that life isn't about likes or comments, it's about the moments we share in real time with real people. Life lesson number 5. The more you simplify, the more room you create for joy. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is this. The more I simplify, the more space I create, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, for the things that truly bring me joy. It's not just about reducing clutter or owning fewer things. It's about clearing away the noise and distractions that keep me from being fully present. When life feels overcrowded, whether it's with commitments, possessions, or even thoughts, it becomes harder to notice the beauty in the small moments. Slowing down and simplifying has allowed me to reconnect with those moments. The joy of preparing a meal with care, the peace of a quiet walk in the woods, and the sense of fulfillment that comes from solving life's simple challenges with creativity and intention. I've discovered that true happiness doesn't come from adding more to my life. It comes from appreciating what's already here, from having the time and space to breathe deeply and be present. By simplifying, I've created room for what really matters: connection, creativity, and peace. Simplification isn't about giving up. It's about making room for the things that make your heart feel full. It's an invitation to live more deeply and to embrace the richness that comes from doing less, but living more intentionally. Life lesson number 6. Living intentionally means choosing alignment over achievement. Slowing down and simplifying my life hasn't just changed how I spend my time. It's transformed how I see the world and, more importantly, how I see myself. For years, my identity was tied to my career. I held an executive level position at a well-known global company, and so much of my ego was wrapped up in that role. My achievements, my title, my salary, it all felt like proof of my worth. But as the years passed, I began to realize that the constant striving, the endless busyness, and the pressure to perform were taking a toll on my health, my relationships, and my sense of self. When I made the decision to step away from that career, it felt like I was letting go of a piece of myself. Who was I without the accolades, without the title? What I learned, though, was something far more meaningful. I learned to redefine success, not by how busy I am or how much I own, but by how peaceful I feel, how aligned my choices are with my values, and how much joy I find in these small, often overlooked moments of life. This journey hasn't been about perfection. It's about progress. It's been about letting go of what no longer serves me, even when it's difficult, and embracing a slower, simpler way of living that feels authentic and whole. I still make mistakes, and I'm always learning, but every small step I take towards this life of intention brings me closer to the person I truly want to be. Letting go of the fast-paced, achievement-driven life wasn't just a career shift. It was a shift in how I define myself and what I value. And in letting that go, I found something I never expected: peace, clarity, and a deeper sense of purpose. Life lesson number 7: letting go of perfection opens the door to growth. For much of my life, I chased perfection, whether it was in my career, my home, or even my personal goals. I thought that if everything looked perfect or if I performed perfectly, I'd feel fulfilled. But what I didn't realize was how much pressure I was putting on myself and how much joy I was missing out on by striving for something unobtainable. Over the years, I've learned to embrace imperfection as a part of life, and more importantly, as a part of growth. Whether it's a meal that doesn't turn out quite right, a day that doesn't go as planned, or a project that feels messy and incomplete, I've come to see these moments as opportunities to learn and adapt. They're no big deal. They're not a failure. When I stopped demanding perfection, I found freedom. I started to try new things, to take risks, and to enjoy the process instead of fixating on the outcomes. It's taught me that life is about progress, not perfection, and that the beauty of living lies in the imperfections that make it real. Now I remind myself that perfection is a myth, and an exhausting one at that. Letting go of it has allowed me to grow, to learn, and to live more fully. I learned that when you let go of perfection, you make room for authenticity, growth, and joy. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the pace of life, I want you to know this: it's okay to slow down. It's okay to let go of what doesn't serve you and make space for what truly matters. Take it one step at a time. Reflect on what you want, what brings you joy, what aligns with your values. The journey won't be perfect, but it will be worth it. Thank you for being here and for sharing this moment with me. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What have you let go of to create a simpler, more meaningful life? Let's continue this conversation in the comments. Take it slow, savor the journey, and remember, you are enough just as you are.